Good afternoon, guys. It's Team Chaos 1998, aka Big Lass, and I'm going to talk about some Dynamite. I'm going to talk about some wrestling news that just came out yesterday, some wrestling news from today, and right now we're about 3 hours away from the ratings coming out for Dynamite last night. So maybe we'll get to that. So let's talk about AEW Dynamite Homecoming. I thought it was a good show. I saw the discourse online. I don't get it. It's got a lot of guys on here have agendas. That's fine. They got to get their views. They got to get their engagement. But looking at it as an AEW fan, going back from the very first show in 2019, it was pretty much what AEW did in 2020, 2021, and 2019. It was great wrestling matches, some promos, some angles here and there, but you know, that's the style that they did. And it's kind of weird that, we've had this discourse for the last few weeks, months really, of how AEW is not what it was in 2019 or 2020. Yet when they give you that, you hear all the complaints. Once again, agendas. So let's get to the show. Uh, Once it started, you could see that they put money into that set. You know, 2019, it was very basic, just a couple of tunnels. But now they got the LED screens. They got that. It's got that slick look that it needed. So yeah, I love the look at dailies for this show. Um, so we start off with Hangman Adam Page versus Claudio, and I did see the discourse for this one too. A lot of fans, or we're not sure if they are fans or not, saying that oh, there's no story, there's no reason for this match happening. And then at the same time, they'll come back and say, well, I don't have time to watch Collision. I don't have time to watch Rampage, so I don't watch those shows. So I'm gonna complain anyway that this match had no story behind it. Last week, when Hangman Adam Page returned to Dynamite, he told Lexi that, or Renee, sorry, he told Renee that he wanted to fight with anyone. Fast forward to Collision. Claudio says, cuts a promo on Collision and says that he saw Hangman's promo and he wants to take him up on that and he wants to fight him at Daly's. They make the match. It's very simple storytelling. I mean, look, Claudio versus Hangman has more build up than Seth versus Jinder. So what does that tell you? So the match itself was good. Uh, I thought that Hangman and Claudio, give them another 10, 15 minutes, they would have had that's a pay-per-view quality match. But I'm glad that Hangman won clean with 2 buckshots, so it still kept Claudio looking strong. And if you're looking at the overarching story behind the match, Hangman Adam Page getting another push. He's back. He's getting a push, getting some wins, high quality wins on TV. That's the big story. Okay. Next up, we had the 8-man tag tribute to Brody Lee. Now, the man, the discourse around this match also, doesn't it seem like every match has some crazy discourse online? Everything. So, yeah, this match was no different. Tony Khan announced the 8-man tag, seemingly random participants, but when you think about it, not really. He prefaced it by saying that it was a Brody Lee tribute match, and he gave Preston Vance the spot in the match because he was Brody's protege. Okay, we know this. Well, AEW fans know this. And so you had your baby faces, Adam Copeland, Dustin Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, Preston Vance. You had your heels, the Gates of Agony, Brian Cage, Khan, Toloa, and Lance Archer. Okay. So you're asking, well, what else? None of this stuff makes sense. It makes sense. Because during the match, Lance Archer and the Gates of Agony couldn't get along, despite being heels on the same team. And of course, this led to another match being made for Collision with Lance Archer and the Righteous, who don't forget, Lance Archer did align himself with the Righteous about a month ago, 2 months ago. So they're going back to that, and Lance Archer and the Righteous are getting a shot at the Gates of Agony's ROH Trios titles. Now, the match itself was great. Everybody got their shit in, as they say, as Brian Cage likes to say, everybody got their shit in. Adam Copeland continues to look great. He's moving around better than he did in WWE. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's working more. It's none of this show up every 6 months, cut some promos, work a match. It's hard to get into a groove doing that. And I think working more often, it's helping him. He's trying to get as much as he can into these 2 years. So, and so far he's doing great. And, I like this storyline. It's kind of shades of Kurt Angle from TNA, 2014, when Kurt lost a big match on pay-per-view. Then he came out and said that he was going to run through the roster from the bottom all the way to the top to get back. And that's basically what this angle is right here with Adam Copeland. It was good to see him interact with guys that he hasn't interacted with yet, like Orange Cassidy, like Dustin Rhodes, Brian Cage, and again, Lance Archer. So yeah, it was a good match. Preston goes over, as he should, in a Brody Lee tribute match. Next up, we had my favorite segment on the show. Well, aside for the main event, but my favorite segment, non-match. Samoa Joe comes out and he cuts his first promo as a world champion, live in front of a crowd. And it was great. The belt looks good. It fits him. And right away you see the difference between Samoa Joe being world champion versus MJF. MJF was his reign was, it had good pay-per-view matches, but I don't know if he was ready to be world champion yet. I don't know if he was ready to carry the company yet. Maybe he wasn't established yet, but now he is. I think going forward, if they want to put the belt on MJF, he's going to have a great second run as world champion overall, not just the matches. But Samoa Joe, he's been there, done that. He's a veteran, and he's taking full advantage of this opportunity to be the man in AEW. So kudos to him, man. And he cut a great promo, and right away, I know all the storyline merchants were getting upset, but this segment, it set up so much stuff for the next few months right here. And so you had Swerve continuing his big push. He's getting there. He's gonna be world champion. Not right now, but soon. And he comes out. He confronts Samoa Joe. Adam Hangman Page comes out. He confronts them both because remember he has legit beef with Swerve, which they've set up, and he has legit beef with Samoa Joe, which they've set up. And then, when we think it's all over, here comes Hook. And I know I've seen a lot of the, the negative discourse also about this. That, Hook, what has he done to deserve a title match? What hasn't he done? Since he started in AEW, he's been on a winning streak. He's lost one match, maybe, in his 2.5 years on the roster. maybe 3 years on the roster. He's over with the fans. He's over with the AEW fans. I'm sorry. The WWE fans don't really like him, but it doesn't really matter. AEW fans cheer for Hook in every city. He gets some of the biggest reactions. Um, and if you're not a hater, you watch his matches. He's getting better. He's gotten better. He was good when he started. He was surprisingly good, but now he's gotten better and better and better. And the guy's in his early 20s. This is just like his very first brush with upper card. Okay, this is his first big feud with a main event guy, and there's more to come. So yeah, he'll probably won't. He's not going to win the title off of Samoa Joe, but the fact that he's getting the match, he's in the ring with the world champion. That's what matters. He needs that rub. Okay. I know that WWE fans they just love their 40-year-old guys fighting each other, but in AEW they try at least to get young blood in there with the main event 40-year-old guys. Okay. So this is good. Good for Hook. Good segment. Setting up so much stuff down the line. Next up, we had the women's 8-person tag. It was great to see Thunder Rosa back out there again. She looks great. And it was great to see all the ladies getting their shit in, as Brian Cage would like to say. Everybody got a spot. Even Saraya looked pretty good in there. I know she gets a lot of hate, but hey, she's still kind of fresh off an injury, a major injury, career ender. And she's still out there trying to, do what she does. So you had Anna Jay, who was another protege of Brody Lee. She gets a lot of the focus here, as she should. And she gets the win, as she should. Good match. Lots of if you watch Stardom, if anybody watches Stardom, they took a lot of cues from those, multi-women tags that they have over there. So somebody's watching Stardom in AEW, and there was a lot of cues here from that, and which is great. That's what AEW should be doing. Don't be like the WWE Women's Division. Be something different. And so, yeah, that's hope they're going in that direction here. No Mercedes debut, which is fine. I know a lot of people just ran with all of the discourse from Sap and the other guys. They never said she was debuting tonight. They said that maybe, you never know, but probably not. That AEW would try to build it up. It would build towards that big debut. It was not just going to happen out of the blue. So, yeah, but also no return. I kind of expected a return more than a debut, but nothing else happened after the match. Next up, we had Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks, and this is this match is a throwback to those old days of 2020 when all these guys would wrestle in front of no crowd. Now they've got a crowd, and it's great to see these guys. And they work so well together, Ricky and Sammy. They've had so many matches on the indies before AEW, and it's good to see how they've grown as characters and, on TV. Because remember, for both of these guys, AEW was their first TV wrestling that they've ever did on a national stage. I know Ricky did some spots for the NWA, but this was the big TV that they got to do. And I know a lot of people are upset. Nobody can lose in AEW. Remember, nobody can lose. If they lose, they're leaving, or they want to leave, or whatever. They're building towards the tag title match at Collision. Battle of the Belts, right after Collision, and uh, I don't know. I would have had Ricky win just to keep the heat going, but Sammy winning is fine too. Sammy needed a win. He's been out for since this is really his first match back singles since November or no, since October. Yeah, he's been out. He was out for almost 2 months with his concussion, and so he's back. He needed a big singles win on TV, so Ricky gave it to him, and it was another clean victory. All these matches tonight. Uh, there was no interference, no outside shenanigans. Even the crazy false count anywhere main event. Not really. Nobody came in from the Don Callis family to interfere. So maybe they're taking some of that from what worked at in the Continental Classic and bringing it over here to the main AEW product, which is good. I think that all the constant interference and run-ins and whatnot, it gets old. So yeah, I like that the matches are cleaner matches, cleaner finishes. So yeah, post match, of course, everybody was getting their panties in a bunch over Chris Jericho, and they elected to have his music play throughout the segment. His music hit. You could hear the crowd pop. You could hear them singing along. But they played the song throughout the rest of the segment, the rest of the fight into the crowd. Chris Jericho with Big Bill, Sammy, and Ricky. Hey, I thought it was a callback to Double or Nothing 2023 when Wild Thing played and didn't stop through most of the match. I thought it was a callback to that. You go online and it's a conspiracy. They didn't want the booze to ruin the feeling, so they played his music through the whole segment. Yeah, it's whatever. Hopefully this discourse dies down because it's been 2 weeks and nothing else has come out. The dirt sheets, that they were looking for stuff. That Body Slam and Cassidy Haynes, they were looking for things to back up what Houseman had said and what the rumors about Kylie Ray and Jericho. They were looking for it. They couldn't find anything. What they did find, they verified some Cucknet, Jim Cornette, and Brian Least BS from their podcast about MVP and Chris Jericho having a fight in 2020 and where Jericho got knocked out. Now, I heard that rumor before. I heard it 2 years ago. But they couldn't find anything else. So they ran with that right before Dynamite started. It's sleazy. It's kind of sleazy because really in the real world, does that even matter? Like, how does that have anything to do with, oh yeah, this guy got into a fight with another guy and he got knocked out 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Anything else to it? No. Well, we couldn't find anything to worse, so we just ran with that. Whatever. I don't think AEW should do anything. Let it die out on its own. Taking Jericho off TV would just add fuel to them that say that he did do something. But they don't know what he did. There's no accusers. So, next match was the main event. And we had Sting and Darby Allin versus Takeshita and Will Hobbs. And this was everything you wanted it to be. Uh, Sting has been one of the best signings in AEW history. Um, he's been there every week, seemingly, even though he doesn't have to be. He's been there and he's delivered every time they've called on him to deliver at 60 plus years old. And, he just goes out there to entertain the fans and to have fun himself and to, so that way he doesn't leave anything on the table after he retires. No regrets. That's what this run's been about. So, yeah, it was a great, great match. Darby, as always, with the crazy bumps. Um, he, I don't know, I don't know how long he's gonna last, really, with all these crazy bumps that he takes every match. But hey, enjoy him while you can, because he's been great. Hopefully, one day he gets that serious run at the AEW title. But yeah, once again, Takeshita. Hey, don't sleep on Takeshita this year. I think Tony, he wants to do some cool stuff with Takeshita. Takeshita looks strong yet again in this match. Um, and clean finish for a no holds barred falls count anywhere match. Um, so Sting with the death drop with the Scorpion on Will Hobbs off the stage through a table, and it was a great match. Even Ric Flair got involved. I know people hate Ric Flair, but whatever. He got involved. It was fun. He got a couple of chops in. Post match, we get the announcement that we've all been waiting for. Is like, who is Sting going to face in his retirement match at Greensboro? And the Bucks music hit. They got a huge pop. It was a great pop. And the Bucks came out, new look, new personas, and they didn't say a word, but everybody knows it's going to be Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. Greensboro Coliseum Revolution. So that's going to be Sting's last match, and they couldn't have picked a better team to face him, because there's no team in AEW that embodies what those three letters are, AEW, than the Young Bucks, more than the Young Bucks. Not FTR. FTR is great. Love FTR. They're incredible wrestlers, but it means a lot more for the Young Bucks to get the spot, because they are AEW and they can carry Sting to a great match. I think the match will be remembered as one of the best of Sting's AEW run. I think they're going to leave it all out there on the table. I think the Bucks are gonna deliver for Sting, okay, and it's just, and adding Darby Allin to the mix, and because he works so well with Matt and Nick Jackson, it just makes it even better. So I can't wait to see that match. Because there's still 2 months, almost 2 months before that show, so there's a lot more build they can do, and a lot more matches they can add to the card. So yeah, I don't get all the bizarre discourse from the weirdo podcasters. It was a fun show. Was there any crazy debut? No, but they didn't have to have one. Was there a ton of storylines and WWE style sports entertainment on the show? Of course not. It's AEW. If you want to see that, go watch their show. They have 3 shows every week. Go watch them. Okay? If you want to watch something different, that's what AEW is for. Okay? So, yeah. I had a lot of fun watching this show, guys. And excuse me if I'm a little shaky. This is actually my first recording of anything for YouTube in about 5 or 6 years. I used to do a show with a buddy of mine, It was very primitive. We would film in front of a webcam, you know, and drink beer and watch wrestling, and that was our show. So yeah, this is a. I figured I needed to do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do to get back into this content creation thing. So uh, let's move on to something else. Um, DJ Woo, he dropped. He had a little interview yesterday that blew up. It was partly my fault. I did see a screenshot of somebody's write up of the interview on Reddit, and I decided to, post it and give my 2 cents on it. Whatever. It was not completely accurate of what he actually said. It was somebody's, cliff notes of it. But the fact remains, even if you listen to the interview itself, um, something was really, really off about Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, going into that show and at that show. And a normal person in a job doesn't do that. That show, that moment, it was supposed to be special for everybody there in AEW. All the workers, all the people that had worked there before that didn't work there anymore. It was special. They had built 5 years to get to that spot. A lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of, shit went down, a lot of hard work to get there. And it was supposed to be special. But to me, it just shows again that this guy, Phil, he thought he was better. He was bigger than AEW. He thought he was bigger than everybody in there in the promotion. He didn't care about them. Didn't care about anybody, the fans. He just cared about himself. He needed to get even with, I guess, Jack Perry. He needed to prove a point. He needed to do this. He needed to do that. And a normal person just shrugs at these things, goes out and does his job, and then takes care of it later. Eddie Kingston versus Wheeler Yuta, and Swerve in action tomorrow night on Rampage. That should be a good show. Also from Dailies. And Collision and Battle of the Belts, 3 hours Saturday night, going head to head with TNA Hard to Kill, Miami Dolphins versus Kansas City Chiefs, and New Japan Battle in the Valley, which features a huge main event of Will Ospreay versus Okada. I think that Collision and Battle of the Belts could be their best combo show that they've done so far. I'm really looking forward to that tag title match, which way they go with it. I think Starks and Bill will retain. And they do Jericho versus Sammy feud, maybe. So we'll see. And I'm looking forward to Deonna Purrazzo making her AEW Collision debut and her in-ring debut for AEW. So, all right, guys, I'll make another video maybe Saturday night. All right, after Collision, see how it goes. All right, peace out.